Let me tell you the brutal truth. The second you defend yourself, you've already lost. Not because you were wrong, not because people don't care, but because in that moment you surrendered the stage. Power never raises its voice. It just stops the room's heart. Your silence could have unsettled them. Your stillness could have commanded respect. Instead, you gave them power, like handing your sword to the enemy before the fight begins. Niccolò Machiavelli, the political genius of Renaissance Italy, understood this better than anyone. And today, I'll show you how silence turns accusation into your stage and how to use it before your next fight, meeting, or betrayal. Think of the last argument you witnessed. Someone accuses, the other scrambles. That's not true. You don't understand. Did it make them look strong or desperate? Machiavelli saw this clearly. The second you defend, you kneel. Because when you defend, you accept their authority to accuse. And the moment you step into their frame, you play on their ground. And once you're on their ground, you lost. Silence has always been more than the absence of words. Silence is strategy. It is a weapon, a mask, a stage where power reveals itself without a word. From the Renaissance courts of Florence to modern political arenas, silence has shaped reputations, toppled rivals, and secured authority. The ones who stayed silent ruled the room. Machiavelli understood that the moment you explain yourself, you surrender control of the stage. Have you noticed that when people attack you, your first instinct is to defend? That defense, Machiavelli warned, is your undoing. Never defend yourself. Never explain. Let silence do what words cannot. Picture Renaissance Italy. Courts dripping in gold, but filled with smiles hiding knives. Alliances formed and shattered in whispers. Reputations destroyed by rumors before a blade was ever drawn. Here, words were weapons sharper than steel. Here, survival meant mastering perception. Here, Machiavelli learned the first rule of power. He who explains himself is already guilty. Now imagine this. Someone mocks you in front of a group. They expect outrage. They expect denial. They expect to see you stumble. But instead, you say nothing. The silence stretches. The crowd shifts in their seats. The accuser repeats themselves, louder now, desperate for validation. But all eyes are no longer on them. They're on you, calm, still, untouchable. In that moment power flips, their words collapse. Your silence dominates. Your silence says more than any defense ever could. Power thrives on mystery. When you defend yourself, you kill mystery. You explain, you clarify, you reveal too much. When you remain silent, you leave blanks. And here's the secret. People fear the blanks. People almost always overestimate the silent one. They imagine you know more than you do. They imagine you're stronger, smarter, more dangerous. Think back, was it the loud talkers who made you uneasy? Or the quiet ones whose silence forced you to second guess? Machiavelli knew silence is not absence. Silence is projection. And what others project onto you is always bigger than the truth. Here's another twist. When you defend yourself, you fight alone. The crowd just watches. Silent, neutral. But when you stay silent, the crowd begins to feel for you. They whisper, "That was unfair." He didn't even respond. They start defending you without you lifting a finger. You didn't just keep your dignity, you've recruited allies. This is why Machiavelli valued silence, because it not only protects you, it weaponizes the crowd. Machiavelli made a distinction. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. But deeper than that, he didn't care if your reputation was good. He cared if it was strong. A good reputation means being seen as kind, agreeable, always ready to explain. But the person with a good reputation is predictable, easy to push, easy to provoke. A strong reputation, on the other hand, means being seen as untouchable, confusing, unshaken. People may not always like you, but they hesitate before moving against you. And nothing builds a strong reputation faster than silence in the face of attack. History is full of masters of Machiavelli's silence. Julius Caesar often ignored rumors, letting mystery make him larger than life. Queen Elizabeth I let rivals slander her, answering with silence that made her seem above the fray. Abraham Lincoln endured daily criticism in newspapers, rarely responding, knowing that answering elevates the critic. Nelson Mandela sometimes met accusations in court with silence, so steady that it shifted the entire room. Different centuries, different battles. But at the end, each of them proved the same truth. Silence unsettles, because silence is control. Now look at the opposite. Leaders, celebrities, even ordinary people who answer every rumor, every jab, every criticism. They look desperate, exhausted, small, because noise is cheap. Noise is everywhere. Silence, by contrast, is rare. And what is rare becomes valuable. This is why Machiavelli's silence feels like dominance. In a world addicted to reaction, the one who doesn't react controls the game. How does this apply to your life? In a meeting, someone questions you publicly. Don't scramble. Let silence stretch, then answer only what matters. On social media, trolls bait you. Don't type back paragraphs. Let them scream into the void. In relationships, someone accuses you unfairly. Don't defend every detail. Stay calm. Let silence reveal their insecurity. Because silence doesn't just protect your power, it multiplies it. But let's be honest, Machiavelli's silence has a flaw. What if you master silence outwardly, but remain fractured inwardly? What if you look strong in public, but collapse in private? Machiavelli can win you respect, but he cannot make you complete. Silence without inner grounding becomes paranoia, manipulation, emptiness. And that is why his teaching alone is not enough. To be sovereign, silence must be both inner and outer, both Carl Jung and Machiavelli. But that is a story for another time. For now, remember this: defense is weakness, noise is cheap, silence is power. Next time someone accuses you, don't rush to explain. Next time someone mocks you, don't give them the satisfaction of reaction. Next time you feel the urge to fill the gap, let silence stretch, because in that silence, you are no longer on trial. A.R. In this video, Machiavelli has shown how silence conquers, not by retreat, but by domination. How silence becomes a weapon, a darker force that bends others before they even act. But if you want the other path, the inner silence of healing, not power, Carl Jung holds the key. That's in our last video. Niccolò Machiavelli told us how to use this weapon, silence, not as retreat, but as dominance. Subscribe if you want to know more about the unseen motives. Our next chapter is coming soon, and I want to hear from you. Share your experience of silence and tell me what you saw in this video.